Hey guys, today I'm working on a Stihl 017. I'm going to put a carb kit in it, but I'm also just going to go over a few little things and show you what's up with these. First thing I see is the chain popped up like that. And, it'll go in and out of there, but when you look, it's because the chain's bent. It was stuck in a tree or something. That's why the bar, brand new bar, is getting damaged from that chain. Uh, Looks like it's oil, and we'll check that and adjust it when we get done with everything else. But bottom line is that's because the chain's bent and it's ruining the bear. Obviously, it's oiling. The other thing is all this fine. This is an air intake to cool the engine. It's half plugged with sawdust. Half the amount of air you need. The saw is also full of gas and out of barrel oil. So if it wasn't that bent chain, it was bound to be out of oil any second here. I don't know if that's because it leaks so bad or just wasn't filled back up, hard to say. But it's important you keep this fine saw. The other thing about this fine sawdust is that your saw's way too dull if it's making sawdust like that. This chain stuff's sharp. You can tell it's a new chain and bar, but obviously the last one wasn't very sharp. And then that dust gets in everywhere, in these fins and that, and plugs them up. Yeah, all in these fins here and plugs them up. The air's coming in through this cover. This is actually a shroud, besides just to cover the carburetor. And the air comes up and blows out the front of the saw. Important that's clear. Air cooled saw, right? Anyways, the first thing on most tune-ups, really all tune-ups, if you got to take the carburetor apart, that's water and dirt. That's dirty water, I guess. This jar here, car's working on chainsaws, that pays your mortgage. So you want to carefully get this line and filter out. Sometimes on these saws, I find some of them have a green fuel line, molded fuel line. Sometimes they get a pinhole. You think you got a fuel problem, but you just got a hole in your fuel line, and it's hard to find if you're not looking for it. You can usually tell how a saw has been working by looking at the spark plug. I mean, it's kind of a different one. It's really, really hot on one side and everything's burnt off. And then the other side's carbon to hell. Now, I'm assuming the white side would have been facing the exhaust. There's the plug tight. A's facing right here. That A. That's A right there. The exhaust side of the spark plug. A facing me, just like that. Too hot because it's too hot on that one side because it's running lean from the carburetor being full of water. And it's rich on this side from pulling the choke on, trying to get it to run. And pull your air filter out and clean that. Kind of dirty, but definitely very dirty in there. Like, when I pull out them spark plugs, it look gray, a little grayer than this. Usually that's that. We're gonna say it's good and tune it up. And see what happens. You can physically see dirt there. That should be white. Now I always leave my saw outside. Not that it's good for it, just that I do. And anyways, my point is I never get water in my saw. Like, it's not that this cap leaked or anything. That water, if it didn't come from the gas station, it's getting in your jug. That's the point. If you do all this and then go home and use that gas jug again, you'll be back. So these you can buy this canned gas and stuff. It's shit. They saws won't even rev up to full RPM on it. It's nonsense. What do you call it? My air hose blow all this shit out of there. If I was working on chainsaws every day and this didn't have the molded fuel lines, like, I'd probably replace the line and the filter and everything, just so you know, because the rubber goes to hell. That's the normal. The good fuel line there. Another good thing to check on these saws is maybe not on this one. There's a little arrestor screen under that. No, it's all arresting. Since we're here, I may as well show you the screen and show you how to check a piston in a saw. Okay. So this is the screen. See up here, it's much more plugged in the bottom. It eventually the whole thing will become that way, and it'll be plugged. And when you pull the saw over, it'll be like, you won't really hear it. It'll be super quiet compared to normal. And anyways, that actually stop it from running. You take that out, heat it up with a torch, blow it off, put it back in. You're mint. And then I was showing you how I could tell one side of this piston was getting hot by that spark plug, how it was gray on one side. So when you look in when you had the carburetor off, you can actually look in there and see the intake side of the piston. Because the piston is the intake and exhaust valve and two-stroke. So, anyways, the piston or the intake side of the piston looks fine. It's the cold side. It basically always looks fine. Get there now. It's down, going down. See, it's coming back up. You can see all them little rings or whatever. That's all normal. That's just the way the piston is. You can see the ring there. You can see now when them rings get stuck from getting hot or not enough oil or whatever the case, then that ring, they're spring lotus. You want to be able to get in there, and this one's moving and all that like it should. But so say it was running straight gas or 8-dirt or whatever the case, there'll be a big score. The piston melts is basically what happens. You'll see it on that side of the piston with the muffler off. 2 seconds to take the muffler off when it's not rusty. Those your muffler studs will wire wheel them before. As you can see, they're just a square on the end. And they just slip into there. There. Yeah, so that alone is a tune-up, you know what I mean? You can see how shitty and dirty it is in there. These screws aren't really very tight, it's just the threads are all rusted up. After you blow that out good with your air hose, there'll be nothing left, you know what I mean? You're evaporating the gas. If there's water, if you got a drop still in there, it's water. There's that fuel filter. You can see what it's supposed to look like versus what it did before. I'm going to reuse this because it's a favorite kind of job, but I'd definitely replace the fuel filter if I did it at a shop for sure. And you want to get it so that your fuel filter's, definitely laying on the bottom of the tank. It's hard to see in there, but you don't want to have it so your line's got it jammed up against the top. Or this is how you start by putting gas in your chainsaw. You go over and you get your chain oil. Always first every time, you know what I mean? If you try and start your saw with no gas, it won't run. If you start it with no oil in the bar, you'd eat the bar. I'm going to take some gas out of my little 2-stroke generator just because it's already mixed up and I know it's clean. And it was idling too high where it was adjusted before. Because of the car wasn't working great, the idle was turned up. So I turn the idle back. Yeah, I don't want to use it too much because of that chain, but you can decide whether you want the chain or not. Yeah, so the thing, these screens plug up from when you're sitting your chainsaw down and getting your next piece of wood. You get your wood together and then you cut it. You know what I mean? You don't leave your saw running for 4 or 5 minutes at a time idling. They're made to run wide open. Yeah. Yeah, another thing I do is when I'm pouring off a gas jug, all the dirt in the water is in the bottom, right? So if you pour slow off a gas jug and it never tip the gas jug upside down, right? I only ever tip the gas jug, you know. You still got all the water in there. And same thing. There's always that inch in your gas jug. You want to dump it when you're done. You see, I still got all the water, still got all the water. Right? All water now. And this would be impossible to see in this cup, but I'll get another jar. Okay, so that's our water. This is what I'm saying is going to be all clean gas, basically. Or maybe a little coffee. All clean gas. Eh? You can, there's water separating funnels you can get. There's a piece of felt. Take that water out of the gas and let the gas go through and not the water. Like I was showing you before, the pickups sprayed in the bottom of the gas tank, right where this water's always going to stay in the bottom. And now if you're out in the woods and you need to separate some gas and water, as long as you got a couple jars, put that back in the saw and you'd probably be good. I think that about covers the chainsaws. That should be more than anybody needs to know. If you don't got it's not that you need a new chainsaw, I guess. Really, always the water every time. And the thing too is people put their chainsaw in the barn, but not always their gas jug, right? It's always the gas jug. There's Yeah, it's always the gas jug with a chainsaw, even when the engine goes, because the problem with that gas jug is that it had no oil in it. You know, so it's either people put straight gas in them or they put water in them, essentially. Or that diaphragm goes. The diaphragm's a big thing. It goes quite often. It fuels shit. It's not good fuel anywhere that you buy it. It don't matter where you get it. But yeah, other than that, you'll be in business.